Welcome back to my channel, and I do hope you're going to enjoy today's video. Well, it was a mixed bag sort of a day. We did have a great time, but just a bit different to what we thought.
I love it when a plan comes together.
So we started off the day a wee bit late, and once we got going, well, we just decided to enjoy everything there was to see. Come along for the ride. Land's End is the most westerly point of mainland England. However, it is not the westernmost point on the mainland Great Britain, as this title narrowly goes to in the Scottish Highlands. To the east of it is the English Channel, and to the west the Celtic Sea. Land's End is either the start or finishing point of end-to-end journeys with St John's Groats in Scotland and Land's End. The cliffs are made of granite, which means they are resistant to weathering and have steep cliff faces. The area around Land's End has been designated part of an important plant area by the organisation Plant Life for rare species of flora. Tourists have been visiting Land's End for over 300 years. In 1649, an early visitor was the poet John Taylor, who was hoping to find subscribers for his new book, Wanderings to See the Wonders of the West. In 1878, people left Penzance by horse-drawn vehicles from outside the Queen and Union hotels and travelled via St Beuven and Treen to see the Logan Rock. The Logan Rock, near the village of Treen in Cornwall, is an example of Logan or rocking stone. Although it weighs some 80 tonnes, it was dislodged in 1824 by a group of British seamen, intent on showing what the Navy could do. However, following complaints from the local residents, for whom the rock had become a tourist attraction and source of income, the sailors were forced to restore it. De vriendenploeg die hebben al de foto's van bij.
Die is bekend bij de mensen.
Ja, ze hebben ook een foto van mij met de Cornish pastry. As I said earlier, we had a plan and we ended up with a backup plan. After we left Land's End, it was our intention to do a bit of a coastal drive, and it started off really well until we got to Mousehole. The drive into Mousehole went fine, and I really should have parked in that early car park. But the day wasn't only bad for me, but also for someone who had become unexpectedly unwell. And driving through those really narrow one-way streets in Mousehole caught us up because there was an ambulance blocking the road, and it took quite some time before they were able to leave the area, and subsequently it took a while before we could leave the area. The day did not quite go as planned, but our day wasn't as spoiled as for the person needing the ambulance. So we decided to cut our losses, drive back to our holiday address and have a little walk around Kilkhampton, because we hadn't done that. And I had walked past the church a couple of times when we got a few local groceries. So that's what we ended up doing. So plan B wasn't really so bad, but it wasn't perfect either. Kempton Church, with its magnificent Norman south doorway and lofty buttress perpendicular tower of 8 bells, is dedicated to St. James the Great and is at least 450 years old, but some historians claim parts of it to be around 1,000 years old. It is one of many churches dedicated to the saint on a pilgrim's route, which leads ultimately to Santiago de Compostela in northern Spain. The church contains an impressive monument to the Cornish hero Sir Bevel Grenville. Other features of interest are the South Porch, dated 1567, a fine series of bench ends of the first half of the 16th century. So you can imagine my total horror and disappointment seeing the church door closed right before my very eyes. The next day was fully filled because we had plans, and it would be the only time we could take a good long walk through the park itself to all the holiday homes and have a look at what this tiny little community was really like. So instead of walking home and preparing our dinner, we trotted off down the path and had a good look around.